we never stop. Like, I feel like even off camp, I'm always here getting better and moving around. Remember, I'm in fat camp.
Refining right now. We've chased the adaptation. He has what he needs. The tools are there. Now it's just about optimizing. And you'll see the session today. It's Wednesday. It's midweek. Somewhere he's probably grinding. Right now we're refining. We're getting better. We're fine tuning. It's about rhythm and timing.
There's nothing new to me. Cameras, media, none of the talking is new to me. This is what I've been doing since I'm a kid. So now, just part of business. Gotta go out there, June 27th.
Especially for Xander at this point in his career, but it shows his heart and his confidence, you know, that he has in himself. And he's ready to go make history for his country. And he's going to do real well in that.
Xander Zayas has officially joined forces with Terence Crawford as he prepares for his upcoming clash with Jaron Ennis. This partnership has brought a noticeable shift in intensity to his training camp, elevating it to a much more focused and professional level.
It's up to him, however he wants to go into this fight. The only person that is going to pay the price is him, nobody else. Not his team, not his fans.
Xander's presence within the training camp suggests his focus goes beyond simply getting ready to box Jaron. He appears to be conditioning himself to handle his opponent on a physical level as well. Bringing Terence Crawford into the fold has introduced a more intense dimension to his preparations, given that Crawford brings first-hand knowledge of how to counter quickness, tricky positioning, relentless aggression, and world-class precision timing. However, for Zayas, this camp appears to be about more than just refining his skills. He is dedicating serious effort to building up his power, increasing his durability, and ensuring his physique can withstand the level of heat that Jaron is likely to bring once they meet inside the ring at 154 pounds.
Square, extend, 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 hold, 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 hold. Come back in slowly. Shift the hips from hands. Attaboy.
Same focus, same hungriness, same dedication, same everything. Nothing changes. There's another fight. Most important fight of my career. But every fight is important. Nothing different. That's all it comes down to. I know who I am. I know what I put myself through every campaign. I know that I put the shifts when I need to put the shifts. So whatever he says won't affect me because I've been here before. I've been here since I'm 16 years old.
What stands out about Xander's current camp is its clear emphasis on developing the strength needed to stand firm once the bout turns gritty. This isn't about showing off polished technique for the cameras or running through light drills. The real priority lies in building power, maintaining solid balance, staying in peak physical shape, and keeping his body prepared to go the distance over 12 grueling rounds. When facing a fighter like Boots, holding his form, remaining composed under pressure, and preventing himself from being maneuvered out of favorable positions will be critical. The moment Boots gains control over where the action unfolds, that's when the risk level spikes significantly.
Business, gotta go out there, June 27th. We're gonna get in that ring, and it's gonna be me and him, nobody else. So it doesn't matter what nobody else says, or what he says, or what he thinks, and what he thinks is funny. Doesn't round me up at all. I say weeks out. It's getting scary. He's the hardest opponent in my resume to date because, again, I feel like every fight was a step into that direction. And obviously, facing somebody like Boots, former world champion, coming up to a new weight class and wanting to be the king of the weight class is obviously challenging because you know he's coming with his best, but he gotta expect the best out of me, and I promise I'm gonna bring the best version out of Xander.
To refine the finer nuances required for a matchup of this magnitude, he has also incorporated jump rope sessions into his routine. The consistent skipping helps establish a steady tempo, improve his sense of timing, and keep his footwork light, allowing him to remain fluid rather than getting planted too early in front of Boots. This type of agility is essential, considering Boots has the ability to shift angles abruptly, forcing his opponents to constantly reposition themselves throughout the fight.
I underestimate the fight, and he wants to half-ass it, and that's on him. That's cool with me. I know I'm putting the shifts. I know I'm putting in the work, and when it's time to go to the deep waters, I know I can swim with those sharks. worked out.
He then moves into high knee drills, which pushes cardiovascular limits even further by demanding that both his legs and breathing stay in sync while preserving his stability. The double under jumps introduce an element of speed, hand-foot synchronization, and burst power. Any slip-up becomes immediately visible, which keeps him sharp. That level of preparation is critical, given that Boots has the ability to shift tempo in an instant and force opponents into rapid reactions. Xander's approach isn't merely about learning to move around the ring. It's about conditioning himself to remain fast, engaged, and physically responsive, ensuring his body keeps functioning at a high level even as the bout begins to heat up.
We're kind of mid-stage in camp in terms of his conditioning. It's just going to get better from here. We're planning for everything. We're planning for Boots to put pressure. We're planning for Boots to move around the ring. But, you know, I think Boots hasn't really fought anybody like Xander.
A significant portion of his preparation has been dedicated to leg work, and that could end up being one of the most crucial elements of this entire training camp. When facing someone like Boots, having powerful legs isn't merely about looking athletic. They serve as the foundation that allows Xander to maintain his positioning, step in and out of range, shift direction smoothly, and keep his composure when pressure is coming from every side. If his legs start to give out, he runs the risk of getting trapped right in front of Boots, which is exactly where he does not want to be. However, by pushing them intensely during training, he is getting himself ready to remain nimble, well-grounded, and explosive from the opening bell all the way through the final rounds. This approach makes it clear that he understands a fight cannot be won on hand speed alone. He requires that lower body power to continue moving, keep his punches effective, and maintain command of the action once the bout turns difficult.
Has been fortunate enough to have everybody, coming towards him all the time. But that's not Xander. Xander can box, Xander can use his legs, and the angles may be a problem for him.
Xander has also been consistent with his road work, and that says a lot about his mindset heading into this matchup. It signals that he's bracing for a lengthy battle, rather than simply banking on a fast start. Running helps build the kind of leg strength, respiratory endurance, and mental toughness that becomes essential once the intensity climbs to uncomfortable levels. Against Boots, that endurance is key, because Boots can keep you moving, thinking, resetting, and defending without a moment's rest. If Xander aims to remain effective in the later stages, he'll need the stamina to keep his feet active and his punches sharp when fatigue sets in. Road work might not be the most eye-catching part of his routine, but its importance can't be overstated. It reflects a clear understanding that he might have to weather sustained pressure, hold onto his rhythm, and continue performing at a high level deep into the fight.
Saber cuándo ir al 100% y el 100 bajarlo al 50 y volverlo a subir al 100 cuando necesitas hacerlo.
No es una competencia dañina, pero yo soy competitivo. Yo quiero llegar de primero, entonces como que me empujo, me esfuerzo a tratar de seguir el ritmo de los muchachos. Además que todo de Xander, que siempre está como que liderando el grupo. Yo me enfoco en eso, no en ganar o ser mejor, pero quiero estar ahí soy competitivo con eso.
Es chévere porque es competencia pero es sana y nos motivamos a hacer mejor, a hacer mejor el trabajo, a trabajar más duro. Y pues, como te digo, nos competimos y al final ganamos todo porque esto es para todo el mundo.
¿Quién va a ganar la subida ahora? ¿Quién la gana?
Esto es fácil, es para que arrancan primero y tienen tenis de correr.
We're preparing for, probably his biggest fight to date.
On the opposite side, Boots Ennis is approaching this bout with equal seriousness. While Xander focuses on building power, endurance, and movement, Boots is also putting in intensive work during his own camp to stay sharp. Recently, he has been sparring with Demetrius Andrade, which speaks volumes about the level of readiness he's aiming for before sharing the ring with Xander. Andrade brings a slick, unorthodox style, plenty of experience, and a hard-to-predict approach to the table. Working with someone that can help Boots develop patience, sharpen his counterpunching, improve his sense of timing, and maintain composure when the tempo of the fight shifts unexpectedly. That kind of preparation is crucial because Xander isn't the type to simply stand still and make things straightforward. He's going to fight with intelligence, stay composed, and force Boots to think through every exchange. So by logging rounds against a crafty operator like Andrade, Boots is signaling that he's readying himself for more than just a slugfest. He's anticipating adjustments, shifting angles, and a genuine tactical battle at 154 pounds. Hearing Demetrius Andrade speak that way about Boots only adds more weight to the seriousness of his camp. Andrade is far from your average sparring partner. He's crafty, battle-tested, unorthodox, and a nightmare to game plan against. So when someone of his caliber offers that level of praise after trading rounds with Boots, it carries real significance. Boots is already widely recognized for his hand speed, punching power, ability to switch stances, and precise counter-striking. But logging time with a tricky operator like Andrade can only deepen his skill set further. This is the sort of preparation that goes beyond getting ready for a typical matchup. Xander comes in as a young, physically strong, and highly disciplined fighter. So Boots needs to be fully equipped for intelligent boxing, patience, and mid-fight tactical shifts. Andrade's comments give the impression that Boots is fine-tuning every facet of his game ahead of fight night, and that could spell serious trouble for Xander.
He's in great shape, man. I've always been a fan of his. I've been watching him a long time, been wanting him to do his thing, and it was nice so I can give him some type of looks and just pressure on his upcoming fight against Xander. And man, I mean, I just think Boots has everything it takes to stay on top of the game for a long time.
Who wins that fight, boo?
Yeah, I'm Team Boots, so I believe he's going to pull it off. Like I said, I think he has every attribute to win, skill level. Xander ain't no pushover either. Xander ain't a pushover fight, but I believe that he has what it takes to, close the gap in the later round of the fight. Because I think just the speed, the skill, his explosiveness, and being able to he got good reflexes, that kid. So he's springy, so it's really nice to see that. And I've been watching him do that for a long time.
Here, Boots speaks for himself about what it's been like sparring Demetrius Andrade in preparation for the Xander Zayas matchup. His comments offer a clear look at the intensity of his camp and the caliber of competition he's surrounding himself with. Andrade is no easy opponent to get rounds with. He's elusive, unpredictable, ring-savvy, and loaded with experience. Facing that kind of style can only help sharpen Boots heading into a bout of this magnitude. This isn't about coming across as physically impressive in practice. It's about exposing himself to diverse approaches, adapting to off-rhythm timing, and learning to stay composed in tricky situations. Against a fighter like Xander, those reps could prove invaluable, as Boots wants to make it clear that he's prepared for whatever comes his way at 154 pounds.
Crafty guy. That's how in there having fun. In there having fun, working on different stuff, and I like football, I like his skill set. I like what he be doing. Crafty.
Do you seek those guys out, like the A-level established guys, to test yourself?
You said you ought to do what?
Do you seek those guys out,
For sure in camp? That's why I be wanting top work, and so fight night can be super easy, and that's why I be getting great work, This camp, different work each week for real. Just routine guys out. I've been feeling tremendous.
As far as sparring wise, has this been your best camp sparring wise? Where finding guys and it being competitive work?
I think this like sparring wise, I had a lot of smart.
Boxing ego has weighed in on this matchup and appears to be leaning firmly in Boots' direction, citing what he views as a clear edge in multiple areas. Xander brings strength, discipline, and self-belief to the table, but Boots presents a completely different type of challenge. His ability to shift stances, fire from unconventional angles, deliver rapid counters, and turn a measured round into a moment of sudden chaos is what sets him apart. That's why the central question surrounding this bout is whether Xander can manage Boots' output effectively enough to stay in the fight, or if Boots will eventually break through once he finds his range and rhythm. In Ego's view, Boots appears to have the wider arsenal, greater burstability, and more varied paths to victory. Xander might have the physical frame and structural advantages, but Boots possesses a brand of skill that makes opponents overthink their next move. And the moment a fighter hesitates instead of trusting their instincts, that's when Boots tends to seize full control.
Told you, I'm really looking forward to this fight. Told you from the beginning I'm picking Boots, but what I just seen right here makes me even more confident in my pick. Now, I don't have anything against Xander Zayas. I think he stepped up when other people like Virgil Ortiz had a bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo with his promoter, and it is.
Then there's Boots making it clear that he's planning to put Xander Zayas to sleep, which only cranks up the tension surrounding this matchup. That goes beyond standard pre-fight confidence. It's a deliberate attempt to plant a thought in Xander's head long before the first bell rings. He's effectively signaling that the power he carries at 154 is no joke, and if Xander slips up even once, the outcome could turn ugly in a hurry. At the same time, that kind of bold talk creates its own kind of pressure for Boots, since promising a finish raises expectations and fans will be looking for a dominant showing. Xander and his entire camp are going to take notice of those words, and now the stakes feel more personal than before. Boots isn't just claiming he'll win. He's announcing his intention to leave a lasting impression.
Oh no, like the bigger they are, I'd be putting big guys out.
Yeah,
cold.
I've heard stories in the gym.
I'm talking
fight
about
big
cold
dudes.
with 18s on. So what you think I'm gonna do with 8 ounces or 10 ounces on them? Because I'm at 54. What do you think I'm gonna do with 10 ounces?
That bold claim, however, also places additional weight on Boots' shoulders. By guaranteeing that type of ending, spectators will be keen to find out whether his punching power truly translates at the 154-pound mark. Meanwhile, Xander has no intention of being humiliated on a big stage, so he's likely to arrive with even sharper focus, tighter discipline, and a stronger desire to demonstrate that he can withstand the pressure. That dynamic is what makes this contest risky for both men. Boots is hunting for a stoppage, while Xander is fighting for credibility and recognition. Once the action gets underway, every exchange could carry a personal edge.
You always was looking for big opportunities. Yeah. Big fight, you never run for big fight. I remember you was trying to fight Crawford.
Yeah.
Finally,
yeah.
You have some big fight. How you feel about it, bro?
I feel great. I feel tremendous. I'm ready to shine, ready to show the world.
Boots has also been putting in work on his boxing fundamentals. And that's where you really get a sense of just how sharp he's aiming to be leading into the Xander showdown. This isn't about throwing heavy shots or putting on a show for the cameras. He's dialing in his tempo, sense of timing, footwork, defensive positioning, and all those subtle movements that allow him to stay threatening no matter the angle. Each punch seems to carry intention behind it, whether it's a quick jab to measure distance, a shift in level to create openings, or something heavier loaded behind it. That kind of precision is critical because Xander isn't the type to make mistakes easily. He's focused, physically strong, and will force Boots to work through every exchange. So Boots has to remain fluid, mentally sharp, and ready to make on-the-fly adjustments. The work he's putting in suggests he understands that natural ability alone won't carry him through. He's refining the finer elements that could ultimately give him the edge when fight night arrives.
Hit the bang, and reflex back, speed back, reflex back.
All right, so a total 10 or 12.
Don't you still doing 4 minutes around?
Yeah, you good.
Oh, all right,
Look who came out here. Time to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Better get the CBG order. I tell you earlier. You gotta get the CBG order. 2 big chicken with cheese, add the next sauce, add cheese, You go medium fry. Right now I gotta go medium IC because I'm in camp. If I was outside of camp, I'll go medium Sprite with Coke. That's the benefit of fighting at 154.
Boots has also weighed in on Terence Crawford's involvement in Xander's training, which adds yet another layer of intrigue to the build-up. Crawford is widely regarded as one of boxing's sharpest minds, so anytime a fighter like Xander is receiving guidance or sharing space with him, it naturally sparks conversation. But Boots doesn't come across as someone who's easily rattled by that kind of news. If anything, he carries himself like a fighter who believes that no amount of outside insight can fully replicate what he brings once the lights come on. That's what makes this narrative even more compelling. Xander may be working to sharpen his mental approach, build physical strength, and soak up knowledge from a legend. Yet Boots remains convinced that the ultimate challenge will be standing right across from him. Learning from a great fighter can only take you so far. It can't fight the rounds on your behalf. So from Boots' perspective, Crawford's presence might raise the profile of the matchup, but it doesn't do anything to weaken his own belief in what he brings to the table.
I'm particularly careful what like Crawford says for the most part, but do you kind of feel like some of his critiques of you are like, I don't know, maybe like hate a little bit? I know online he recently said that Fundora is the best guy at 154. He said Fundora would beat you. What are like your thoughts on that?
I don't pay that in mind though. That stuff be bothering me, but like I said, I'm the best at 154. Everybody know it, and I'm gonna keep staying every time out.
When Boots goes on to warn Xander that he's coming for both of his belts on fight night, the tension begins to feel much more personal. He's not speaking like a challenger who's simply grateful for the opportunity. He's carrying himself like a man who's already convinced those championships will be leaving with him. That level of self-belief shifts the pressure onto Xander, because now he's not just defending his titles. He's also defending his standing against an opponent who's openly targeting everything he's worked to achieve. For Boots, this bout is about sending a clear message at 154 pounds. He wants to prove that moving up in weight won't diminish his speed, neutralize his power, or alter his identity as a fighter. Even though Xander holds the belts, Boots is talking like he views himself as the real force ready to take over. And when a challenger starts speaking about claiming titles before the opening bell, the champion has no choice but to respond when they step between the ropes.
In the gym anyway. Y'all stay in the gym anyway, so my camp not really, all I need is 8 weeks. I don't even really need that. But I just do 8 weeks, and 8 weeks of just me locking in and doing everything I should be doing, working on everything I need to be working on, and that's about it. So, I mean, some fighters do it. Like I said, some fighters can overtrain because they doing 16, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. You don't need all that to get ready for a fight.
Make sure to check out our other videos on the channel for more fight breakdowns and updates.